Welcome everyone to the first episode of this new collaborative series, and we hope that you enjoy it, Marsha and I both. We will be working on many different projects, and we will be talking about so many different things throughout each of our videos. We will be doing projects that are centered around slow stitching, sewing, junk journaling, positivity, whatever we can come up with to inspire you and offer some good positive vibes throughout the next 12 weeks. So be sure and follow us along, watch all of the videos all the way through. We'd really appreciate that. And if you find things of value to you, please consider subscribing to our channels and helping us to grow. And be sure to share with your friends too. Now, before we get into my video, let's think about something that how we can set the mood. Let's make sure that we get a cup of something, your favorite drink, hot tea, coffee, juice, whatever it is you'd like to sip on for the next little while. And let's take a moment to enjoy some flowers. Welcome everyone to the first episode of this new collaborative series. And we hope that you enjoy it, Marsha and I both. We will be working on many different projects, and we will be talking about so many different things throughout each of our videos. We will be doing projects that are centered around slow stitching, sewing, junk journaling, positivity, whatever we can come up with to inspire you and offer some good positive vibes throughout the next 12 weeks. So be sure and follow us along, watch all of the videos all the way through. We'd really appreciate that. And if you find things of value to you, please consider subscribing to our channels and helping us to grow. And be sure to share with your friends too. Now, before we get into my video, let's think about today's masterboard is going to be about our passion for purples. I love purple, and I know most of everybody that I know loves purple. So here is a selection of some hearts that I've cut from the master boards that I'm making out of scraps. And they're just beautiful. They're so creative. They lend themselves to everything. So let's see what we're going to do today with the purple. All right, now let's see. I've left a couple things out. Let me go get them and I'll be back. Okay, I think I have everything now. Let's see if we're going to be able to get this started. I said we're going to do purples, and you notice that the first thing that I have on here is a piece of lace over this batting. This is what we're going to use as our foundation fabric here. Now we're going to just put elements on here. So let's see, I have cut out some circles and some squares and some rectangles of just little fabrics, and we're going to try putting those around and see what happens. Okay, we got some purple stuff here. So let's just put a few around, see what happens when we mix them up here, and what we might need to do to make things work better. Well, I didn't really want to put them exactly in a row, so we're gonna go with that though. And then I'm gonna drop some of these little squares in there, just like that. Then I have these little gold things. I don't know what they are, but they have a little shiny side to them. Thought, well, that might be pretty too. This is kind of an altogether different look than we've had on our other ones, but not too much different. Turn that one over. Okay, I think I need a couple more of those. I like that difference there. It came off of a piece of fabric that looks like that, and I've just been cutting just a little strip up to get that little shiny part. Okay, now we have some offcuts, some here that I had, so I'm going to squitch it up, and then I'm going to chop it up. Again, we are not trying to place it. We are simply trying to get it to fall where it wants to. Be nice if it fell on the piece though, wouldn't it? But it has a bounce quality to it. It's okay, I'll go retrieve it in just a minute. Okay, let me go get what fell off, sprinkle it around. They are precious. Keep my tweezers for stuff like that. All right, now don't forget that in a little bit we're going to get into a little bit on our theme for this, and passing on the thread, and what that has to do with us older women, us women who are reaching our vintage years, you might say, and but also arguably they might be our best years. And do we have something to pass on? You bet, each one of us does. It doesn't have to be sewing skills. It might be something entirely different. But since I'm a stitcher, that's basically how I look at life. Passing on something which, I love the fact that I can do that with all y'all here at YouTube. Okay, that's looking kind of interesting, isn't it? Putting some circles in there. All right, we have a little bit of dark purple with some glitz in it. Let's cut that in some smaller strips, and then put that together and cut that up and see what we get. Okay. Maybe we'll get a little bit of the glitz coming through. I do like those shiny threads. We don't want to cover up all our lace, but we do want this to be primarily purples, and so we've got to make a statement here with purple. All right, now I had just a little bit of this pink, which also had that glitzy stuff in it. So let's just do a little bit of a splash of that color, just for accent. Makes the purple pop a little more. Yeah, looking good. Looking good. It's going to make pretty hearts when I cut them up, because they're going to be very different. Okay. Let's put those aside now. What are we going to do for our yarns? Let's see what we might use here. I have some of that, but you know, I don't know. Let's try a little bit of it. I think it's just so color coordinated, it might just get lost in there, but we'll see. It does have a little shine to it, so that'll help too. Okay. Put these all back in. Keep popping out. Okay. Now I do have something else here. This also it has the darker purple and the lighter purple. Again, you don't want to place it, but you do want to get your, if you have some glaring areas that just don't have anything in them, you want to make sure you get something in them. Okay, got that. And again, I'm going to have to pick up the ones that jumped off. Everything is precious. Okay, all right. Am I happy with that? Let me look at it a little bit. I think I will be happier if I add a little more silver to it. Something that will catch the light for sure. Each of those little hearts, you want it to be able to have something in it that catches the light. It doesn't have to be a whole bunch or real big. Okay, I think that will do it. I think I'll be happy with that now. Put all this back in my little container here, which is not easy because it doesn't want to go in there. Some of these things have been around so long, they think they own the place and they just want to do their own thing. But don't ever go against just a determined grandma because she's gonna win. All right, there's our purple passion. Now let's get our tool on there. And when we get through with this, we're going to talk about passing on the threads. I love this series of collaborated and themed videos that I'm doing with Markets of Sunshine, Marsha, and she and I have been collaborating over the years, a little at a time. We love the same things, but we have entirely different styles. And I love collaborating with her because that way you get to see a totally different view when you watch her videos and then watch my videos. And you get double the value because you get a lot more different perspective. And so I really love that, to be able to do that. And remember that this is going to be a 12-week collaboration. So it's going to take us through the end of the year, or to the end of the year anyway. And you're going to learn a lot. I'm learning a lot just preparing for them. And I think it's just going to be fun, instructive, something to look forward to. Remember, it's going to be every Wednesday morning at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, United States Eastern Time. And our videos will post simultaneously, so that if you're up at that time and you want to watch, then you can watch one, then immediately go and watch the other. And or you can save them and watch them later in the day, but you'll have a nice long little session there where you can enjoy this series. Now, each Wednesday we'll have a little different theme, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. And let's get this pinned all around. Remember, we went down the overlap because we don't want to, I want to be able to remember to sew that overlap down so that it doesn't catch and it doesn't yank off or pull away or do anything like that. But as you can see, this tool just disappears, and if you don't mark it, you'll just totally forget about it being there. All right, the next thing I will do with this is I will take it to the machine and I will quilt that, and then I will cut it up, and you'll see it at the end of this video, or somewhere near the end anyway. All right, let's switch gears here. Hold on a little minute and stay with me. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I have went and gotten this piece that I've been working on that first started out to be a rolling pin scroll, but then I changed my mind, and I'm going to make a pouch out of it. And I'm working on sewing down the inside so that I can put it and make a project pouch out of it. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do, or I might make a envelope clutch out of it. Oh, I really like that. That is just beautiful. I love that. I think that's what it's going to be. All right, but before I can go anywhere, I have to finish my stitching, and I thought this would be a good project to work on while I'm just chatting with you on this theme for this first premiere video for our new collaborative series. And let me find an appropriate color thread here. What can I use here? All right, what do I want to use? How about just some green? It's out here. Let's just use it. All right. Again, excuse the mess. You can't really see it all, but believe me, it might scare you. Let's get a length of thread here. And see what I can do with that. Gotta divide it out, get it on my needle. Sometimes these threads just open up so beautifully and it's so easy to split them, and then other times, oh my, it's a 3-day job to get it split. And I like to use 2 strands. That's my preferred thickness, and so that just cooperated so well. Let's get it on the needle. And get a little knot in the end. I'm not going to be doing anything fancy, just some pretty large straight stitches. I'm working on getting, let's see, stop there, so let's turn it this way and finish down this one. Get that up in there like that and go with that. All right, we're ready to go. All right, passing on the stitches. Now, that has to do both with how we value, how we view the things that were handmade and passed down to us, the skills that were passed on to us as stitchers and sewers and knitters and crocheters and tatters and all those different skills. How do we view those beautiful gifts that were given to us that way? And are we trying to do the same ourselves? Wouldn't it be nice if we could do that in some way? You know, life is just too short to rush, and it's too precious not to mend. So if we have problems or things or reasons why we think we can't do these things, we need to give some attention to just mending them. And sometimes stitching is the best mender you'll ever find. It just doesn't fight back. It really goes with the flow. Wherever you push it, pull it, lay it, and stitch it, that's where it will stay. Isn't that nice? If you're over 45 and like me, maybe more like 79, then you know that life has stitched so many stories into the fabric of our beings, more than we could ever tell. Some very private, but some we can share. And the ones we can share are the ones that, you know, other people value too. They love learning about us. They love sharing our experiences. So let them. Don't shut people out. Let them be part of your lives, okay? Now, imagine this. As a child, I remember my grandmother, not my mother because my mother didn't like sewing, but my grandmother and a couple of my aunts, I were around them off and on, and I observed them. And they would hand sew patches onto garments, especially their husbands' work clothes and their children's garments, school garments and things like that. I thought at the time as a child, oh, why patch that up? Just make something new. But let me tell you, I've gained some wisdom over the years. I sure have. And today, we're going to unpack the joy and the humor and the healing power of slow stitching, especially for women like us who have carried so much throughout the years. And we have learned that you can't just always buy something new for many, many reasons. So you have to learn to patch it. And let's face it, women over 45, you are juggling so many things. Family, work, your health, your future concerns. And in all of that, you're just trying to find a moment of peace, just a quiet, still moment where you can meditate on it, think about it, stew over it, evaluate it, see what comes next. And stitching gives us that. Another thing stitching does is it gives us something tangible to be able to pass on the threads. When I make things, sometimes I'll be creating it and then I'll think, oh, this would be perfect for so-and-so. And I have the intentions of passing on the threads, giving them away, so much of it. Now, through the years, when I was younger, I kept a lot. I displayed it in my home. I used it for decor. I used it, some of it for gifts. But as I get older, I find myself giving more and more away. For one thing, my time is limited. And, no guarantee for any of us that we'll be here tomorrow and we'll have the opportunity to give it away. So that's kind of where I'm focusing on now. Right now, as y'all know, I'm trying to heal from a major spinal neck surgery. It's going to be a long haul, and it's difficult circumstances. Not being able to walk very well right now, not having to wear a neck brace 24/7 for 12 weeks. Just so many things that I could just sit in a corner and cry about, or I can find something to do. And what better way than to concentrate on things that where I think I might could pass on the threads of my life and the wisdom that I've learned through the years. Speaking of mending my soul here, when I was a little girl, my ideal of sewing was tying knots everywhere to hold things together. My mother would find me with tangled thread, and she'd say, well, that's one way to patch a hole, and laugh at me. Most of the times I was working on my doll clothes or some silly thing like that. And but I've come a long way since then. Although, believe me, some days I still feel like that child, tying knots and fumbling with thread. Especially when I'm working on a new design in my head and trying to figure out how that's going to work and how I'm going to get that done. But since I started as a child, this road has been much easier for me. Young people today, that's the shame, because they're not taught, and in their young age, they're not really interested, many of them, in things like, handmade art like sewing and crocheting and knitting. As they get a little older and mature, a lot of times they do find that, and we're so happy that they do, and that we can share that with them. But stitching like this is perfect for women of a certain age because we don't rush anymore, and not just in crafts, but in life. And sometimes the stitches don't go as planned. One time I was so sure I had finished a beautiful flower pattern, but when I looked closer, I had stitched the petals upside down. Well, that's a good reminder that perfection is overrated and laughter is essential. And always, you can turn a mistake into a design choice. I do it all the time. Those very upside down petals, I added a couple more elements. And if I were to show you that today, you would never know. And in fact, it turned out much more unique than it would have if I hadn't made that mistake. Whoops, I lost my needle. What did I do with it? Now, to be able to create things that you can pass on, and to also show that you value the things that were passed on to you, the threads that keep coming down through generations. The first thing is, I have always tried to use scraps that tell a story. They may not always, the story isn't evident to the person who receives the piece, or even to someone who is just viewing it. The story is evident to me. Little pieces of old dresses or shirts that have memories, pieces, exciting finds that I found when thrifting and looking for different items, and trips with friends where we went to garage sales, estate sales, things like that. There's a story behind almost everything. The second part is embracing imperfections. I have learned so well to embrace imperfections because there's beauty in those. There's just beauty in being wild and free, and just wrapping love around the imperfections and going with it. And number 3, there is beauty in making your love of what you do a social thing where you enjoy passing it on, passing down the threads, whether in person or through a virtual stitching circle like we have here at YouTube, sharing your stories while stitching. It nourishes not only your heart, but it nourishes the hearts of others. There's so much bad news. There's so much anxiety, loneliness, fear, unhappiness, stress, anxiety, pain. There's just so much of that. There's not enough of the other. So when we share together, we share the good things. We share the positivity of life. We share the love of something that's good and wholesome and freeing and healing. That doesn't mean everybody's going to love it like we do. We don't expect that. We don't pressure people for that. We just share and hope they find something that they can find that beautifies their life or that moment for them. So one day I was stitching, and when my granddaughter was little, she plopped down next to me and she said, "Grandma, that looks hard." She'd never used a needle and thread before. So I just got her a needle and a big needle and a piece of thread and a piece of fabric, and showed her a couple of stitches, and before I knew it, she was just stitching away. She was absolutely a natural, and all she needed was someone to pass on the thread. It was a perfect connection between us. It's a memory I will never forget, and I hope it's a memory that through the years will come back to her, and she will cherish it as well. Stitching is also a time for meditation. Can you think of a better time to think about things, to mull them over, turn them every which way, figure out the value and worth in them? Just to work through it, you might say, in your mind. It brings clarity, and you can do that while you're stitching, because especially if you're stitching on something like I am right now, there's no thinking about this. Back and forth, a simple straight stitch. So my mind is free. Okay? So if you need a time to meditate, to mull over a problem, grab something that you can just simply stitch and do that. So whether you're brand new to stitching or have, been hand sewing since your own childhood, I encourage you to stop and take a breath every day. Pick up your needle and thread and start mending not just fabric, but all those little jagged areas in your life, or maybe in someone else's life. Now, before you leave this video, and there's still more to come, so stay with me, please, I would like for you to hear about your favorite slow stitching memories, or your funny mistakes, or who, when you were a child, made an impression on you. Leave a comment below. You can also send photos or a story, if you'd like, to my email contact, which is in the description. I would be happy to post that on the community post tab here on my channel, where your story, your thoughts, and your photos can be shared with everyone here on my channel. So, until next time, keep those needles moving slowly and your heart's very full. Stay with me, because I'm going to make a transition. I just wanted to give you a little sneak peek of next Wednesday's video. It's going to be about creative confidence, and especially for us older sisters, us silver sisters, you might say. How can we grow or keep our creative confidence as we get older? That's a good topic, isn't it? And so we're gonna explore that some. And one of the projects I'm going to be showing you is these moonflowers that I love to make. Isn't that just gorgeous? Now these can be used for so many things, and I'm going to use some of these for some fiber art projects as we go along, and just other things. I've also made them where I attach a little tab at the top, and you can wear it as a necklace, so it's fiber art jewelry. I have known people who made ornaments out of them. They double-sided them and made ornaments out of them. I know a lady who has them hanging on her curtains and her pull-down shades and things like that. There's just so many innovative things you could do with it, but these are so much fun. And just to tell you, what looks like gold gilding here, you might say, is a candy wrapper. So if you have something with some glitz around the house, like a candy wrapper, don't throw it away, okay? All right, till next Wednesday, please come back and be sure to share these special videos that are made just to inspire you. Bye-bye.